Greetings, my fellow nerds. I'm Chris, and welcome back to Dees Nerds. And today we're going to go through our October movie haul. So back in our September movie haul video, that was a little skimpy. I think there's only like 7 or 8 movies that we were able to do for that month. We definitely rectified that this month. A Shout had a sale, so we bought several movies off that. Plus, there was also some ones that I've really been wanting for a long time that are actually pretty cheap on Amazon. So we went and we kind of cleared out some of those. So I'm really excited to kind of go through these and share them with you. All right, so this is one that is actually one of Michelle's favorite sports movies, and for some strange reason, unless I am completely missing something, this doesn't have a Blu-ray release in any region whatsoever. So this came down to like under $5, so we were like, okay, we'll just go ahead and get it so we can have it on physical media and enjoy it. With the idea that now that I bought this, probably the Blu-ray will get announced next week. That's usually how it goes, right? So, but we got The Longest Yard. Adam Sandler. This is a really fun football movie, and like I said, this is one of Michelle's absolute favorites. So she's very excited to get this on some physical media format. But there's really nothing to it on this. It's one of those eco cases. It's a pretty flimsy DVD case actually. I may end up getting a better case for it because this feels pretty flimsy, but just a pretty standard Paramount DVD release. Nothing too crazy there. All right, this is another sports movie. This is one I really love and remember digging a lot back whenever I was like a teenager or so. I think that's the last time I probably saw it, so it's been a long time. But it's one that I loved, and again, tired of waiting for it to come out on Blu-ray, so just decided to get the DVD since it was like under $5. But Blue Chips, Nick Nolte, Shaquille O'Neal. I think if I remember correctly, Penny Hardaway's in this as well. That was a big deal back then for Penny Hardaway to be in a movie like this. But Shaq is obviously like the bigger name now. Obviously, he's one of the all-time NBA greats. This was a great basketball movie, and unlike a lot of great basketball movies that are probably more on the hopeful side, I think in general, a lot of times sports movies tend to be that way. With this one, it's a little bit more cynical, and it definitely kind of shows what happens when you do things the wrong way. But I'm very excited to revisit this film. I guess we had a theme of sports movies because we did also get this one. This one was also cheap. I think it was only like $7 on Amazon, but it was on Blu-ray, thankfully. But Coach Carter, Samuel L. Jackson. I have not actually seen this, but I have friends that love this movie. And just different reviews that I've read about it, they really sing its praises. So I'm very excited to revisit this film. Again, it's kind of a standard, kind of Blu-ray release, so there's nothing real crazy there. But I'm really excited to get this. Samuel L. Jackson seems like anything he's in, I pretty much like, except for Snakes on a Plane because I hate snakes. But so I'm really happy to kind of finally check out this film that's kind of been on a wish list for some time. All right, so this is an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that I just adore. It's been one of my favorites for a long time. It's been one of Michelle's favorites for a long time, and we're just now getting it on physical media. So I'm really excited to finally have this. But Kindergarten Cop. I mean, gosh, there are so many great lines in this, especially the kids in this movie. They have some great, funny lines. But I think the most memorable one for me, or the two most memorable ones are, Arnold whenever he's all like, shut up, shut up, shut up. And he's like, all the kids start crying. I guess I'm kind of messed up for liking that, right? But also the other one is like his partner, of course, like, when she takes out one of the bad guys, not so tough without your car, are you? There's some really funny moments in this. I don't think Arnold gets the credit that he deserves for being actually a pretty good actor. I think everybody just kind of chops him up to like, stupid stuff like, you'll get back to the chopper and stuff like that. I'm horrible at doing Arnold impersonations. But like he's kind of relegated to like a few like kind of quotes and like a horrible Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. But I really think he's actually a really good actor. And I don't think you have the longevity that he's had and the success that he's had without being a at least decent actor. So happy to own this one. Like I said, one of my favorite Arnold movies. It's going to be pretty awesome. Again, there's nothing really to write home here about as far as the packaging. There's the back. There's the, again, nothing really to write home about. So But again, happy to own it on Blu-ray and can't wait to watch it. All right, so Michelle loves space movies. I mean, really loves space movies. So this is one that she had kind of targeted that she really wanted to go after. So we finally got it. We got it in 4K. Again, we're about 12 days or so from getting the PS5, so very excited about that and very excited to enjoy this one on 4K. But it is First Man with Ryan Gosling. Of course, Ryan Gosling is one of the great actors of our generation. I'm really mad at Amazon on this because, of course, they sent it in a stupid bubble mailer, and of course, it got cracked. So I'm probably going to look at getting a replacement case for this. But as far as what's on the inside, of course, it's just got the DVD and the Blu-ray there. But I'm really excited to see this. I've heard a lot of good things about it, so kind of knowing that, kind of willing to take a chance on it because it is Ryan Gosling and it is a space movie. So more likely than not, Michelle's definitely gonna love it, and I'll probably like it too. All right, this next one is another space movie that Michelle was excited to see, and I am too. I haven't actually seen this one yet, but it stars Robert Pattinson. High Life. I don't know too much about it. I know Michelle's looked at it and said that she's really excited to see it, and it looks interesting to me. So I'm willing to give it a shot. And also just because Robert Pattinson, I think he's become such an amazing actor since the Twilight films, and of course he's going to be Batman. In the Batman that's coming out, I guess, in 2022 now. Thank you, COVID. That's very appreciated. Not, but I think he's become an amazing actor, and so I'm really happy to look at this film and kind of see what I think. Should also point out, of course, that the packaging again got an eco case, which, I mean, it's in good shape, so no worries there. But just pretty standard stuff there. All right, so we got The Mask of Zorro on 4K, and very happy to eventually revisit that on 4K whenever we get the PS5. Didn't really want to wait for there to be an inevitable, probably 4K release of the sequel, The Legend of Zorro, so we went ahead and picked it up on Blu-ray for like $8. So very, actually, I really like this film. I remember really enjoying this. I know it's got a little bit of flack, but I actually really enjoyed it. So I'm happy to revisit this again. It's been a few years since I've seen it, so I think it's a really good film. But once again, kind of finishing out the Antonio Banderas, Catherine Zeta-Jones Zorro movies that came out. I think that that's actually a franchise that you could really stand to kind of reboot and bring back. I think it would be something that would be really popular. I think Zorro's a really cool character, and hey, come on, let's try to bring him back. There's many things that my father passed along to me as far as love of movies. Of course, it's because of him I love Batman. It's because of him I love James Bond, Star Trek, Star Wars. You name it, pretty much, especially in the sci-fi realm. But one thing that he passed on to me was love of westerns, and particularly John Wayne. I just really adore John Wayne's films. And again, I think he's kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think he's kind of been relegated to a few classic lines, kind of delivered in a really bad impersonation. But I really do enjoy his films, and they're definitely kind of nostalgia things to just kind of remember going back and watching those with my dad when I was younger. But I finally picked this one up. I've had the DVD of it for a while, and it finally came out on Blu-ray here, so I picked it up. But it's The Sons of Katie Elder. And I think this is a fantastic film. It's got a great, Dean Martin is in this as well. There's also two other brothers. I forget the actors who play those. But basically, it's a really cool film. I mean, it basically centers around Katie Elder. Their mother has passed away, so you never actually see Katie Elder in this film. But basically, it picks up like at her funeral, and essentially, that they think that they basically find out that their dad probably got taken for a ride, as far as like they lost their place. So he's basically trying to figure out who killed their dad and who basically took their place. And so they're just trying to figure all that out and go through it. But I think it's John Wayne in prime form, and happy to own it on Blu-ray now. All right, so I kind of left the last bit at the end for this sale that Shot Select had on their line of films there. So we're able to pick some stuff up really cheap there. Some stuff that I don't know if it was like necessarily like can't miss kind of things, but it was like one of those things as I was going through the list, like, oh yeah, that movie, and oh yeah, that movie. So was happy to kind of get those and kind of share them with you here. So looking at it, the first one, really don't know a whole lot about this movie, but I'm kind of taking a chance on it because I love Simon Pegg. But it is a fantastic fear of everything. And so uh, like I said, I don't know very much about it. But like I said, generally anytime I've seen a Simon Pegg film, I love it. So it looks kind of quirky to me a little bit, but that's okay. I like quirky too. So kind of looking at it, there's the discs. I always like to kind of highlight shouts. Discs normally have cool artwork and also like the covers and everything. As far as the back cover of it, it's really not anything. It's not like a reversible cover like on some other shout stuff, but there's the kind of the art that they put in there that you'll see like whenever you open up the disc. So very interested to check this one out. All right, so the next one is one of Michael Keaton's best films, I believe, Mr. Mom with Terry Garr. Again, this is just kind of like one of those like, yeah, like I remember that movie and it was really good. Of course, I really watch Michael Keaton more like from, obviously Batman, Beetlejuice, things like that. Plus kind of his later career renaissance. He's been Vulture in Spider-Man. He was in The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. Was really funny. I think he was one of the best parts of that film. So, I mean, he's one of my favorite actors. He's absolutely fantastic. But so I'm very happy to own like one of his better 80s movies here on Blu-ray, especially through Shout. I'm really excited to see like what they have to offer on that. But of course, there's a slipcover. And so we'll take that off. And then that, I've already switched the reverse cover. So that's actually the reverse cover. So I figured, hey, we have the slip cover with the other one, so I figured why not have that one kind of showing off the that one there. So this is on the reverse side of that cover, but and of course there is the disc art. Once again, like I said, and Terry Garr too. I mean, she's, of course, I really remember her from Young Frankenstein, but I mean, she's amazing. Michael Keaton's amazing, so it's can't miss. So if you've seen anything else on this channel, or you follow this channel halfway at all closely, you know that I'm a musician, you know that I play guitar. And so this one here really caught my eye and was really rather cheap. So picked it up because it's one of the legends of rock and roll, one of the like I would call it like the original guitar legend in rock and roll, but it's Chuck Berry, Hail Hail Rock and Roll. It's basically like a documentary slash 60th birthday concert kind of thing. I mean, it goes into a lot of different areas. It's a really interesting take of Chuck Berry. He's an interesting dude, and he was definitely he was definitely his own man. Let's put it that way. He was very quirky in a lot of ways. Some people would say differently. Of course, Keith Richards tells a story about how he got decked one time by Chuck Berry. So that's kind of his attitude throughout the whole thing. It's a little peculiar to kind of watch his thought process on some things, but you know what? I mean, he's brilliant musician, brilliant songwriter. Like definitely one of the early ones I remember my parents listening to a lot as I was growing up. So like like a lot of those songs like Maybelline and Johnny Be Good and rock and roll music and like all that stuff. I mean, he's just so it's really cool to see him here. He's playing pretty good in this concert. He sings pretty good in this concert. Although there's a lot of great special features kind of on the making of that you understand that he was really difficult to deal with through the filming of this. So I highly recommend this if you're a fan of early like 50s rock and roll and a fan of Chuck Berry, or just kind of a fan of some of these musicians that are featured on here, because Eric Clapton makes an appearance. Huge Eric Clapton fan here. Keith Richards, the Rolling Stones. Robert Cray, one of the great blues guitarists from the 1980s and all the way up to the present day, is on this as well. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's a really interesting look. I really recommend this one. All right, this is just a classic movie from the 90s, and we're finally owning it on Blu-ray, and I'm so excited. But it's Man in the Iron Mask. I mean, geez, what a great cast. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jeremy Irons, John Malkovich. I mean, come on. I mean, it's just awesome. So, and really happy. Apparently it's a brand new 4K scan, which of course, being on a Blu-ray, it's not like it's true 4K, but the idea that it's coming from a better quality source just means that it's going to be better quality no matter what the medium is. So, really excited about that. And of course, There is the cover once we take the slip cover off, and of course the reverse cover of it is just what the slip cover has. So again, I'm like, hey, if it has a slip cover and that's the cover on the inside and then the reverse cover is different, then I'm just going to do the reverse cover regardless, so I can see what both sets of artwork are and get to have kind of my cake and eat it too. So, and then of course there is uh, the disc art there. So again, very excited to own this. Like I said, it's just a classic film, and I can't wait to kind of watch this this new scan of it. It's gonna be really cool. Now, I will say this next one is definitely a Michelle purchase. I'm not real crazy about these films, but you know what? That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But we picked up the Legally Blonde collection. Of course, Legally Blonde and Legally Blonde 2. And there's, of course, the slipcover. And then I went ahead and already reversed it because, it's like I said, it's the same as the reverse cover. Or I said the original cover is the same as the slip cover. So I did kind of switch it on the front, or the to the reverse cover, which is just kind of more of looks like the poster art with some of the credits. So there's the front, and there is the back, and then those are the discs. So I know, like with Michelle, she really loves the first one. The second one, she's kind of like, but she's still really excited to kind of own this set, and hey, I'm excited for her. And our final film is one of the great Steve Martin comedies of all time, The Jerk. It's just Steve Martin doing what Steve Martin does, man. We actually just watched this yesterday, so it was nice to relive this one. I really enjoy this film. It's just it's just Steve Martin being dumb, and it's really cool. Again, like here's the reverse cover there. So that's just it's a lot of fun. I remember I was laughing my butt off throughout the whole film, and of course there's the disc art. But Steve Martin, man, back in the '70s and the early '80s, like he was the king, man. I'm just really really glad to own this one, because it's just like one of those. It's like, why did we not own that yet? It was just kind of one of those, like, duh, like. And so that was like, yeah, we were scrolling through the sale, and that came across. It's like, well, of course we're buying The Jerk. I mean, why don't we own that yet? So, but yeah, that's The Jerk for you, right? All right, guys. Hey, I would love to hear from you about what stuff you've been buying, or just what you think about, like, what this movie haul looks like for this month. Please let me know in the comments. Hey, we appreciate everything. I think we're up to like 120 subscribers now on our YouTube channel. Guys, thank you so much for following us and everything. We just really appreciate it. So until next time, I'm Chris, and we are Dees Nerds. You guys have a great, safe rest of the day. Bye, guys.